Hi everyone. So my name is Anchit Garg. In this video, I would be telling you the guidelines about filling your DAF. So first of all, congratulations. There are high chances that if you're watching this video, you would have got an interview call for RBI Grade B officer post. So that's a job well done. But I think this is still a long way before you see your name in the final list. And interview stage is a very important stage. And the start of this interview stage happens with the filling of this biodata form. You must fill your biodata form with utmost care because most of the questions in your interview would be based on your biodata. And you cannot afford to make any mistake in your biodata because just assume that situation that you're sitting in the interview and you're saying that, sir, I filled this by mistake, or sir, I do not remember that I write this in my biodata form. That would be like an egg on your face. So please listen to this video very carefully. I would be telling you those small points that would be creating a doubt in your mind with respect to filling of the biodata form. So I made my complete notes to guide you, right? So I would be referring them also, and I hope you get best of the guidance, right, with respect to filling of this biodata form. So when you start with filling of this biodata form, the first thing that you need to do is actually to fix your passport size photo. Please affix the latest passport size photograph which actually matches your personality right now, and sign across the photo. And then here you have to mention about the post you have applied for. Say you have applied for grade B journal, then write grade B journal. If it is anything else, please write about the post of that name which was mentioned in the advertisement or the notification itself. Here you would have to mention about your roll number. Now coming on to the medium of interview, which is very important because what you write here was actually decide that what is going to be the medium of your interview. So you can either write English or Hindi, right? Do not have any second thoughts. If you're not comfortable in English, you can write Hindi. They would not be biased against you. Neither they will give you less marks for giving interview in Hindi. So be comfortable. Write only that language in which you can actually express your thoughts because expression of thoughts is more important, not the language that you are using in the interview. Now, regarding the point number one, so here you have to write your name in full, right, as mentioned in the matriculation certificate, right? So you can either choose Shiri or Shirimati. If you are Shiri, then tick on Shiri and write your full name here. Otherwise, choose Shirimati, right? Or you can even use Kumar or Kumari here. And please write your name as recorded in the matriculation certificate. I hope you would have written the same name while filling your form after the RBI Grade B notification. Next comes the present postal address, which is like your current address. So this can be different from your permanent address. Say if you're from Banaras, but you are residing in Delhi, please write the address of Delhi here. And please mention the nearest railway station, right, corresponding to your present postal address. Then you have to mention the name of your father and husband and your occupation, right? So girls who are married would have the option to write the name of their husband or father, any of them. Otherwise, everyone else can write a name of their father. So when you write name of your father or husband, I would just suggest you to avoid the prefix Mr. Right? Because here, since it's mentioned Shiri, so let's use the same prefix here. You can mention Shiri, right? And you can give the full name, and you have to mention the occupation also. Please do not forget that many people just write the name and they do not mention the occupation. Now moving on to the point number four, which is pretty simple here. You just have to tick your category. So if you are from say ST category, just put a tick here. Do not put cross in other box. No, do not do that. That is not required. Just put a tick in the appropriate box. And in case you are SC, ST, right, you please indicate your caste, subcaste or tribe. This is very important that in case you are SC, ST, please indicate your caste, subcaste or tribe. And I think you know it better than anybody else. For people with disabilities, PWBD candidates, they need to tick regarding the type of their disability. It can be orthopedically handicapped, hearing impaired, visually handicapped, or multiple disabilities, right? So say if you are hearing impaired, you would have to tick here. Again, do not put cross in other boxes. That is not required. Now moving on to point number 4A, whether you belong to minority community. If yes, please write yes here, right? If no, please write no here. And if you have written yes here, please tick the minority community also you belong to. If so, please indicate which community. Just put the tick on the appropriate community. Suppose you are a Zoroastrian, then put tick on the Zoroastrian. Then you have to mention the nationality, right? So most of you would be Indian, so you can write here nationality as Indian. Wow, what's a proud feeling. Then whether you are ex-serviceman, tick yes or no as per your appropriate classification. Migrant, again click yes or no. And staff, that is whether you are already working in RBI, say as RBI assistant or any contractual post, write yes. Otherwise, tick on yes, right? Or you can tick on no, right? I hope this is pretty clear, right? Or even if you do not want to tick it, you can write it here also as yes or no in these boxes, right? These boxes. Then you have to mention your date of birth in the Christian era. And the format is very clearly written. Suppose your date of birth is 21st August 1995. Then do not write 95 here. This is wrong. Do not write 95 here because the format is YY. You have to write 1995. This is a very common mistake which most of the people make. Please do not make this mistake. So next we move on to point number 8, right? Now these point 8, 9, 10, these are very important, right? There can be questions in the interview from whatever you fill in the point numbers 8, 9, 10 and all. So point number 8 is basically about your educational qualification, your academic qualification, your professional qualification, right? So you have to mention all your qualifications here and you have to start from matriculation onwards. That is 10th onwards. That is you have to write about 10th, then 12th, then your graduation. Please write in this sequence only. Many people start with graduation or post graduation. No, write in this order only: 10th, 12th, graduation, post graduation, and after that if you have any say certification courses which are say 6 months, 1 year long, that also you can write. Right, say you have done CFA, that you can write, or maybe any other professional qualification which is say bit longer qualification and it's not like 15-day 30-day course. So here you will write say first 10th, then you have to write the name of your school or college, and please do not just use acronyms here like AGP. No, you have to write the full name. Do not use the acronyms. Year of passing is when you passed out. Then examination body or board is your board, in this case say CBSE, ICSE or the state board. Write the name of that state board. Then your main subjects would be the subjects that you would have studied, right? So in 10th class, the main subjects would be like math, science, social science, Hindi, English, right? All of them, right? All of them. Then number of attempts made, right? The number of times you appeared in the 10th examination. So if you say failed for one time, the number of attempts would be 2, right? Do not hide anything here. There is no point in hiding anything because you have to be honest. They would have all your records and they can anyways do background verification. So whatever is the actual information, give only that. Then exact percentage of marks with fraction. This is very important because many a times we round off our marks. Say I have 78.4 marks, I would write 78%. That is wrong. You have to mention up to 2 decimal points, say 78.40, 78.42, like that. And then class grade and rank. So if you are given any class grade, CGPAs or rank, you can mention it here. And there is an asterisk here, right, which has been explained below, that in case of grade, extract numerical equivalent to be supported by a certificate from the appropriate authority. So in case say you have a CGPA, then you would be required to produce a certificate from the appropriate authority, which actually indicates that the CGPA is equivalent to how much in percentage, right? So this is about 10th. Then you similarly write about 12th. Then you write about graduation, your post graduation if you have any, and then you can write about your certification courses if you have. And again, particularly if they are a bit longer of 6 months, 1 year or so, right? That is only, I would say, a professional qualification then. So that's about point number 8. Now moving on to point number 9, which is again very important if it is relevant to you. Particulars of very high academic or professional qualification / experience of value to the bank. So here there are two keywords: particulars of very high, they are not asking high, very high academic or professional qualification slash experience of value to the bank, which is providing value to the bank. So here you cannot just mention that I did a course on Udemy or Coursera for 13 hours where I learned this. No, very high academic or professional qualification slash experience. So it means something which is your expertise area. Either you have academic qualification or you have experience in that, which can also provide value to the bank. Suppose you have done a PhD in which you have done a lot of research on the economic statistics of India, on the social statistics of India, and you can prove that this research can be of value to the bank, say in financial inclusion. So maybe you can write it here, but you have to be very choosy here. Do not mention anything just for the sake of it. Right. For example, some scenarios, right, can be if you have passed JAB and CAB certifications, right? So this is basically only given by the people who are already working in the bank. But uh, alternative of JAB is Diploma in Banking and Finance, DBF. So even if you have cleared this, you can mention this. Any other certifications from Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, any diploma you have done in banking and finance, treasury, risk management, say you have done FRM, financial risk management certification, you have done CFA certification, right? So these are something which are very high professional qualifications, and this can be of value to the bank, right? So write it very selectively. Do not write anything just for the sake of it, because you would be required to justify it there. If you write something that I have this very high professional qualification or experience and this can be of value to the bank, so you would have to prove that why this is very high and how can it be of value to the bank. Then gross salary per month. So here the keyword is per month. Do not write your annual package. Gross salary per month drawn from previous existing employer. So whatever your existing employer is, and if not any existing employer, if there is any previous employer, do mention the gross salary per month that you withdraw or you are withdrawing. And then the point C is that whether on the basis of A and B, the candidate would desire to have an advance increment in the pay scale offered. If so, how many and the justification for the request. So say you have very high academic qualification, which is of value to the bank, and you were drawing higher salary prior to this, prior to joining RBI. Right, but you want to join RBI because it's not only about money, right? You want other things in life, you want to serve the country. That's why you're joining RBI. So in point C, you can say that yes, I have very high qualification and I have been earning more than what RBI is offering. Then I want some increments to be given to you, advance increments, and you can mention how many and say how much increment do you want and what is the justification for this request. So you would have to give a detailed thing here. Right. And one thing that I forgot earlier to tell you, that at the end of every page, there is a registration number. This is page 2 of 4. Even on the page 1 of 4, right? The previous page when it ended, there was a registration number, right? So here you would have to fill your registration number, which is very, very important for you. Then coming on to the next point, 10 number. Wow. I am sure that there would be a question asked from this in your interview. Particulars of prizes, medals, and scholarship obtained. So I would like to address this in bit detail because this is very, very important, and most of the people have doubt in this area when they are filling the biodata form. See, first of all, when we talk about prizes, medals, scholarship, if you very carefully understand these words, they are clearly indicating prize winning. Prize winning either in terms of prize, a medal, or a scholarship is also prize for your academic performance. So here it's not about participation. Just this has to be very clear that this is not about participation. This is about something you have won. Right. This is about prize winning, either a prize, medal, or a scholarship. And here I would say that you concentrate more on academic activities, right? Whether any prizes, medals, or scholarships won in academic activities, and if not academic, if they are co-curricular, then at least some co-curricular activities which show your intellectualism. Say dance, singing. I mean, do not write such prizes, medals, or scholarships here. That can be mentioned in the further section. I'll tell you there is a separate section for that. Here, concentrate on the academic winning any prize, medal or scholarship or any co-curricular at least which is showing that you are intellectual. Say you want a debate, right? Or you want essay writing, which shows that you are intellectual because this is somewhat related to academics also. So here can be some examples, say you won a gold medal in the degree, you won a first prize research project in the college. This is also academic. First position in the 11th standard in your district. Third prize in climate change and its impact quiz in 10th standard. This is also kind of academic. Second prize in debate competition, co-curricular but intellectual. Third prize in essay writing in 6th standard, co-curricular but intellectual. So here either academic or something intellectual related to academic, but avoid things like dancing, singing, etc. because there is a separate column for that. So here please write it very carefully because many people when they fill this column they are mostly not writing about the prizes, medals or scholarship. They are just mentioning about the participation. No, here you would have to be very particular about the prize, medal or scholarship you have won, right? And try to focus only on academic or other activities which are indirectly related to academics, but avoid dancing, singing, etc. because there is a separate column for that. Now this is the column I was talking about as a separate column. Now this column says proficiency in sports, extracurricular activities. Now here the keywords are sports slash extracurricular activities. So they are very clearly now asking you to actually mention something in sports, dancing, singing, etc., painting, where you have proficiency. This is again a keyword, proficiency. Proficiency means that you have good knowledge about that, you have good expertise in that. It's not about that you have just some interest in that. Okay, I watch dance on TV. That's not a proficiency in dancing. If you're a good dancer, right, and if you know about dancing, then you can say maybe that I am proficient in dancing. So you have to attain certain level, guys, and you always know that if you have attained that certain level or not. You always are aware of that. So do not try to mention anything just for the sake of it. Only if you are proficient, then mention that yes, I'm proficient in dancing, singing, I won that, I participated there, I was appreciated and all that. You would have some credentials to actually justify that why you are proficient in that, right? And here you can also mention about participation. This section is not only about winning. The last section was. So even if you say participated in dancing at an say state level and where you perform good, you were given some appreciation certificate, if not about first, second or third, just an appreciation certificate also means that you're proficient in dancing, right? And if you have won any prizes, you can always mention that, but you can also mention about the participation in sports or extracurricular activities, right? So I hope this is very clear to you. The point number 10 and point number 11 here, many people are confused as in what to write and what not to write. So ये कुछ examples हैं that you can write. Say you were captain in your football team, state level player in badminton. So this is all about participation, right? They have not won anything, but they participated in basketball. They did some, dance training, some painting activities and all that with proficiency, not just time pass. Or you were a head boy, girl in school, NCC, NSS camps, you joined various clubs in school, colleges, you were an active member, you actually contributed to that, making you proficient in that area. So these are some of the areas that you can mention here. So next is about the languages, so here again a important thing to know is that knowledge of languages other than English. Knowledge of languages other than English. So they are already assuming that you know English, or they just want you to write languages which you know. The knowledge about languages other than English. So do not write about English here because they have mentioned other than English, right? So please do not do that. If you write that, they will very specifically spot that and they will actually realize that you are not a good reader. You did not read the instructions carefully. So here you can write, say, maybe language I know Hindi, and you can tick the appropriate boxes that I can speak, I can read, or maybe I cannot write, then write here or put the cross here. And examination passed, if any, say if you have uh, say passed Hindi examination in 10th class, you can write that, 12th class, you can write that, or maybe any certifications, right, you have done in Hindi or something, that you can also mention here. Right. So just I think the thing that needs to be taken care is that do not mention English here in these rows because they have said other than English. Next is about your present and previous employment. So here you have to follow the reverse order, that first write your present employer if there is one, and then write about your previous employers in a particular order, right? Going back from the present. So write about the name and address of employer from to date. If you're presently working there, then write from, and in the to field write present because there is no end date to that. Then designation and nature of your duties you have to write here. Then gross salary drawn per month. Again, please mention here, do not write your annual package. It is per month. And then reason for leaving. Now this column actually irritates many. So this has to be filled with little bit of honesty and smart work, I would say. Honesty means that you obviously would like to give the actual reason. Maybe say you left your job because you wanted better career prospects, you wanted to go for further studies, you wanted or you had some medical problems. So that would be very honest answers if you had faced that scenarios. But do not be too honest. You have to be smart or diplomatic. If the actual reasons were like, I did not like my work, I did not like my boss, do not tell those reasons here because that will create doubt in their mind about your personality. So you have to be smart, right? But be honest, but at the same time, along with that honesty, you have to be a little bit diplomatic. But I know that all of you would have fair reasons for leaving your job. And do not mention anything very suboptimal, I would say I left my exam to I left my job to prepare for exam. No, I mean, yes, that was the reason, but what was the actual reason? The high level reason was you wanted better career prospects. That's why you left the job. That's why you decided to prepare for the exam because ultimately you wanted better career prospects, right? So like this, you would have to give details of all your employments here, right? And do not hesitate, give the actual reason, right? Maybe if one company out of three, the no, the work culture was really not that great, you can mention that, be honest, and you can just justify that what was the problem. If that's a very natural, logical problem, they will understand that. Then point number 14 is about previous attempts. So if you have given any previous attempt, right, for recruitments by RBI Services Board, say you have appeared in RBI Grade B exam or RBI Assistant exam or any other exam conducted by RBI Services Board, so you have to write the number of attempts previously you have done. So if it is say 2, you write 02 here. Name of the post you write, right? If you have given RBI Grade B and RBI Assistant both, then write RBI Grade B and RBI Assistant. If you have given one, write the name of that one and the date of examination. So if here you would have written two, in total 2 times you have attempted the exams in the history conducted by RBI Services Board, then give both the dates here, right? Don't just give the latest date. Whatever number is mentioned here, give all the dates here. Okay. And then they're asking you whether called for interview and the final result. So here, if called for interview, you can write yes, and final result you can write not selected. Or if selected, say you were selected in RBI assistant, you can write yes, I was called for interview, selected but not joined. And if you're not called for interview, you can just mention no here, right? And then these are very trivial columns, right? Have you ever been debarred or disqualified by a public service commission or any other recruitment board, including RBI Services Board, or for any of their examination selections? If the answer to above is yes, please give details. I'm sure the answer here for most of you would be no. You would not want to be in the yes category because then you would have to give the actual details, right, which has been documented for your disqualification. So that's this very tough question if the answer to this is yes, but I'm sure most of you would have the answer to this question as no. Are you free from debt? So here give very honest opinion, and I think free from debt here means whether you have taken any loans that you have to repay and all that. If you have taken say some personal money from your friend or from relatives, say 10-15,000, I mean that can be ignored. But any loan from any financial institutions which you have to repay back, then you are not free from debt. You please mention yes or no depending upon that. And again, do not think that if you have some loan on you, you will be rejected. No, there is nothing like that. I'm not sure also that why this question is being asked, right? But be honest here. Then the next is if you are under any liability to repay money, right, advanced by any institution of party for your education or for any other purpose, state the particulars. So here again, you would have to mention that if you have any liability for taking advance from any party that you would have to repay either for your education or for any other purpose, you have to mention. So say if you have taken any education loan from any bank, you would have to mention yes, and particulars may you write about education loan, right? This type, you type education loan. Pardon my handwriting, I'm just typing it by mouse, but I hope you're getting to understand because I'm speaking along with what I am writing, right? So I hope uh, this is very much clear to you, right? And I think point B needs to be answered if the answer to first question is no. If you write are you free from debt and if you write no here, then the part B holds greater relevance because then you would have to mention the details of that debt, right? Then point number 17 is additional particulars which candidate may like to furnish. Now this is a very good question. Additional particulars which a candidate may like to furnish, because now this is a very open-ended question. This question actually gives you the opportunity to mention anything on which you want your interview panel to ask questions from you. And they have particularly given this column in your biodata form, which I'm pretty sure is to actually see your intellect and to see your interest. So do not mention anything like no dancing, singing, etc. I do not think that that makes sense because there had been a separate column for that. There had been a separate column for your academic qualifications, for your work experience, for your medals, scholarships, and your co-curricular activities. There had been separate columns for everything. Here, they just want you to mention something that actually makes you stand apart from the rest, that actually have done something which is unique to you. I would say just fill that kind of information here, right? And that should basically relate it to your intellect. So maybe if you are interested in say reading books by RBI governors, say you can say that sir I've read books by all the RBI governors till now, Raghuram Rajan, YV Reddy, D Subbarao. You can mention that. I'm sure they will ask you some good questions on that, and be prepared for that. 90% chances are that once you mention that I've read books by all the RBI governors and I find them pretty interesting, they are going to ask you a lot of questions on that. Your interview is going to go in that direction. So you can very well decide that where do you want your interview to go, right? And here mention things about intellect because they want to test your intellect. If you mention that I have played skating, no, at my national level, it's I don't expect that no, they will even notice that, right? So mention something which you really think that can show your intellect, or something which you have really gross interest in, which makes you stand apart from the rest. Mention that here, right? And then uh, particulars of copies enclosed. So here you would have to mention certificates, copies of certificates enclosed. So you might have enclosed your caste certificates, your educational certificates for 10th, 12th, graduation, your experience certificates. So mention all that, right, in a particular order as they came in your biodata form, and do not mention about the biodata form. Do not write here that I have enclosed my biodata form because that is, I mean, already known that you are submitting your biodata form. Do not mention this. Just mention the copies of certificates. Educational certificates, caste certificates, physical disability certificates, your experience certificates, whatever you have attached in a particular order as they came in your biodata. Just mention them in a particular order, and also in your PDF, right? In your PDF, which you need to send to RBI, put them in that particular order so that it is very easy for somebody to match it, right? So here you just put your signatures, right? The signatures of future RBI officers will come here. And again, you write your registration number. This is on every page, and at the end of every page, please remember to fill that and write about the place, right? From where you are filling this form and the date, right? So this is it, guys. I hope this is pretty clear to you now that what are the guidelines to fill your biodata form, right? I hope all the common doubts in your mind would have been erased by now. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Thank you. In case you have any doubt, you can always email us at hello@edutap.co.in, right? Or you can call us at this number 8146207241. Bye bye. Have a nice day. Thank you.